Hi everybody, welcome back. This is, oh gosh, what are we at? Week 8, week 9, something like that. It's been going on for a while, and you'll be pleased to know that we get to do this all the way until the end of September. So every week you will get a brand new recipe to put in your arsenal. I really hope you're building a recipe book that you can use when you move out, and I'm sure your parents will be glad when that happens. Anyway, today, this is the second cheat recipe that I'm going to give you. It's another one of those super easy ones to have in your back pocket. Again, very versatile because it really doesn't matter what kind of pasta you use, what kind of meat you use, or for that matter, if you even use meat. You can do it with lentils, you can use Beyond Meat, and those kind of things. But in this case, we are going to use hot Italian sausages, macaroni, and a tin of tomatoes. That's all it is. I recommend not necessarily the Elmer kind, but always buy the seasoned ones. These have got garlic and olive oil in them. You can get them with Italian spices, you can get them with red pepper. That's gonna give you a lot of flavor. The other thing, I mean, even though I said you could use whatever you want for meat, I always like to use sausage because again, that gives you flavor. Keeping in mind that if you decide to do this without just ground beef and tinned tomatoes, you can add chopped onions, you can add red peppers, grate some zucchini in. You can do that anyway, but for the purposes of this one, we are using these 3 ingredients, and that's all, except for salt, which doesn't really count as an ingredient because you should always use salt when you're cooking. So we're gonna go over to the stove. I've got the water boiling. I'll show you just how fast this is. We are going to throw in the elbow macaroni. That's what we like. You can use whatever macaroni, whatever pasta you like. Elbow macaroni cooks nice and fast. It's one of those weird ones though. You gotta, oh, I forgot to salt the water. Oh, can't do that. Gotta salt the water. I tried cooking pasta without salt once. It was just awful. And remember, you want your water to taste like the ocean. Rule of thumb, which I may or may not have already said, the less time the food is in contact with the salt, the more salt you need. So for instance, this is gonna boil for about 6 minutes, so you need a lot of salt. If you were going to make a dish that was simmering for hours and hours and hours, you would use very little salt. So, get that water boiling. Put the lid on there. You want pasta, you need lots of water and always boiling. That's what keeps the pasta moving and that's what stops it from sticking. Do not add oil to your pasta water. People say if you do that, your pasta doesn't stick, but also if you do that, your sauce doesn't stick to your pasta. Because what's happening here, you've got a lot of starch coming off the pasta. It goes into the water, it gives you flavor, makes your sauce stick. So that's really important. Don't add oil to the water. Okay, so we got a good boil coming. We're gonna let that sit there for a minute. Now, turn the heat on into the pan. Hello, puppies. Don't you love it when my dogs come to visit? So, in this case, say hi to the camera, guys. Say hello, Remy and Luna, the crazy dogs that are causing Tasha a little bit of stress. So, Italian sausage, we're going to take the casing off and just squish it into the frying pan. This is hot Italian sausage. It's got some serious heat, which I happen to like sometimes. But since I'm probably going to feed my husband this, he likes the spicy stuff. So, take it out of the casing. You don't have to, but it's easier to break it up and cook it that way. You can, as I said, use Beyond Meat. You can pretend this is Beyond Meat if you don't like watching me squeeze sausage meat out of a casing. You can pretend it's a meat substitute. Wash my hands because I'm dealing with raw meat. Soap and water on there. Now, see, the pasta's coming to a lovely boil. So that's what'll keep it from sticking. And then we start cooking up the ground meat. Have I showed you guys this tool yet? This is one of the very few single-use tools I have in my kitchen. You can get one at the dollar store. This thing is genius for cooking ground meat because it just gives you 4 lovely surfaces to break it all up and keep it from cooking in a great big wad. Because you do want it in crumble. It's also really good for banana bread. Mashing up your bananas. You can use it for mashing potatoes too, but I bought it at the dollar store. I saw one at a fancy cooking party that I went to, and I think they wanted like $15 for it or something like that, so I wouldn't buy it because I'm cheap that way. And then I saw one in the dollar store and went, oh yeah, I'll take it. So all we're doing here is browning the meat till it's cooked through. Super fast, super easy. Once you've got it all broken up like that, you can dispense with this and go back to using your flipper or your spoon. That's coming along nice. You can see all those chilies in there. You know it's going to have some heat to it. Okay, boiling away rapidly. This is good. So while we're talking about using that tool for banana bread, is that something that you folks would like to learn how to make? I'm looking for some inspiration. If you can send us on Instagram when you post your picture, maybe in the comments on one of the posts that Janet puts up, tell me what you'd like to learn. Like I said, we've got till September, so I've kind of planned everything out, but that doesn't mean that we can't make what you want to make. So if you've got something that you really, really want to learn how to make, let me know. And we can certainly work on that. I would really appreciate your input on this, actually. Okay, so meat's all done. This particular sausage, there's not a lot of fat in it, so we're not going to drain any of it off. Now I'm going to grab the tomatoes. They go in. Turn it down a little bit. And there you have it. That is your sauce. So we need a couple more minutes for the elbow macaroni. Let that simmer a bit so that the flavors get a chance to meld together. So what you want to do, of course, like everything, is taste it, season it. I personally will have to add salt to it because my taste buds are not what they used to be, and I have to put salt in pretty much everything now. I don't like salt on my food, but I do like salt in my food. So we're just going to give this a little taste. Let's see how that has come together. Whether it needs any salt. I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm also going to set some of this side into another bowl because I don't have enough pasta for all that sauce. So we'll do that. Save it for later. Save it for later. And then you can see, whoops, I need to turn this up a bit. All that yummy sauce in there, all those yummy juices. I'm just going to do this, never mind. Okay, we're going to leave that in there. Put this off to the side. Get our strainer out, because the pasta's almost done. This may take a little bit longer than I wanted it to, actually, I think. Yeah, it needs another couple minutes. But you really want, as I said, you really want to be able to taste the salt in that water. Get a strainer out. Now, I am going to go ahead and just drain this and stick it all together so that you folks can see what it looks like. And you don't have to listen to me babble on anymore. Now, if you want, though, I will babble on for another minute. The liquid that's in here is pretty thin. So what you can do is do exactly what I'm doing, which is simmer it a bit, because what that'll do is all the liquid can start to evaporate off. It'll concentrate the flavor a little bit. Let it simmer. It'll thicken it up a little bit. That's nice. And that'll help it stick to the pasta. So you can certainly do that for a minute or two. If you don't want to do it too much, of course, because then it'll dry right out and you won't have any sauce. So we're going to call this done. I'm going to turn it off. We're going to drain the pasta water and drain the pasta. So give it a little shake. Then you just dump it in your sauce. Stir it around. And just like that, dinner is done on the table. You can always put some Parmesan cheese on it. I'll show you. We've got, I think we have some basil in here. That might be, oh, we do. Let's get some basil out. And a little bit of Parmesan cheese. If you like, you can plate it up this way. Get all foo-foo fancy. Let's get a bowl in. Oopsie. Try not to break anything. Nice big pasta bowl. So you pop it in your bowl. Look at that. Sprinkle some Parmesan cheese on it. And last but not least, some fresh basil. There. How's that look? All done. And you can serve that with pride. So I hope you enjoy that. Again, remember, whatever sausage you want, it certainly works. Hot Italian, mild Italian, honey garlic would be good too. And ground beef or pork, chicken. But if you're gonna do that, then you might wanna add a little extra something like a little garlic or a little onion or something like that. But honestly, if you use the seasoned tomatoes that I showed you and some sausage, 3 ingredients, boom, dinner is done in the time it takes to cook the pasta. So have fun with that one. Let me know how it works out, and do give me your suggestions for what you'd like to learn. Take care, guys. Bye.